Welcome to another Monday night.
I'm sorry the picture for the thing wasn't the best, but I didn't know what you wanted to do, so I just...
Well, I didn't have time to go searching because, like I said, the one I wanted for the thumbnail was actually here. Anyway.
I don't know.
So we're taking a look at Return to Ravnica. There's a few cards that I found that weren't in the box that I had stowed away, with most of the stuff I'd opened, including some decks to build.
Also, just because...
One of the guilds featured heavily was the Is It. And so that matches nicely with a already existing EDH deck that I'd built for Niv Mizzet the Firemind. I got a version, whoops, dropped it. Version here from the Vault Legends collection. So it's got a somewhat unique foiling pattern to it, but it's always been an interesting commander, I guess you'd say nowadays, because of its ability. There's an enchantment that you can put on it that loops into sort of an infinite combo.
What's it said again?
Well, not infinite.
The Ravnica, or Return to Ravnica?
The cards in your deck, but whenever you draw a card, you deal a point of damage to something, which then triggers its other ability to draw another card. Like you can get a loop going. I forget what the enchantment is. I didn't pull that up because the main point I wanted to just talk about was some of the cards that we probably won't see in the box. Well, we might for the commons and uncommons. But Return to Ravnica, obviously, for the story, Niv Mizzet featured heavily, so they came out with a new version of him, somewhat comparable to the first. But you also had new lands, like the Izzet Guildgate. So I threw one of those in my commander deck. I threw in a Steam Vents, which I don't think I had previously. I have some of the original Ravnica Pain lands, but I think this was one I was missing. So that went in there too. And an Izzet Charm for good measure, because these modal spells that you can play a bunch of different ways, they can be handy sometimes. And of course, easy alternate commander. If someone else is playing Niv Mizzet the Firemind, depending on the legendary rule variant you're using at the time, there's now Draco Genius, which is a little bit bigger, same casting cost, 5/5 instead of 4/4. And the ability is parallel. So with the original, whenever you draw a card, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player, and you can tap it to draw a card. With the new one, actually, is this looking weird, or you can't
I
see?
don't know.
Anyway, whenever Niv Mizzet Draco Genius deals damage to a player, you may draw a card, and you can pay 2 to deal a damage to target creature or player. So,
it's
the reverse way, but the same sort of cycle going on, and you can still set up some neat things with either one, really. So,
hope everyone's having a good night. I see we have a few more people in.
Yeah, so this was the upgrade, and now I noticed in one of the decks we got recently, I think it was the Outlaws of Thunder Junction one, they've made yet another Niv Mizzet, which costs like 3 red and 3 blue, and I forget. I've never done a close comparison on that one because I haven't broken down that other deck yet to see if I want to add to my deck here. In any case, just in case, because the decks I built, one was Rakdos, and the other one was sort of a Bant deck that involved a couple of different ones. There are a few cards mixed in here that I got from Gatecrash, which was the other second set from the block, which we'll take a look at those as well. I don't remember getting anything from Dragon Arch. I think that was basically when I peered it out. I got a little bit of Gatecrash, a fair amount of Return to Ravnica, and
go to bed, Brinley. Comes in, got my water. Yeah. That she stole from me, by the way.
I had gotten quite a bit of the previous blocks, which was like Innistrad That was a fun one. It had a very traditional horror type theme with a lot of werewolves and vampires
go to bed. Good night.
all that jazz there.
Void says good night. Monkey.
So another, besides the Niv Mizzet that I just showed off, here's another one of the mythics.
Never enough monkeys. Nope.
Vrask the Unseen. And again, this is not in one of the decks because it doesn't meet those color combinations either. The Golgari stuff and the Izzet stuff didn't make it directly into the decks as much. But this was back in the days when there was still an ever-expanding number of Planeswalker characters all over the place.
Brinley, go to bed.
Vrask is a Gorgon Planeswalker. So for those with a background in history, the most famous Gorgon is probably Medusa and her two sisters, although I think Medusa was the only one that got slain in Greek mythology. So 5 cost for 5 loyalty, and it can pay -3 to destroy a non-land permanent, +1 until your next turn. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to Vrask, destroy that creature, so sort of a defensive ability. And -7 if you can build it up, which only takes 2 turns, ideally. To put 3 1/1 Black Assassin creature tokens onto the battlefield, which have the ability from... Oh, what was your name? Basically, if they deal damage to your opponent, that player loses the game. What was the name of the character that first had that? It was the one from the Art of SWAT. What's her name? Jessica was the version before she got corrupted, I think. Phage. Phage was the original legendary creature with that sort of ability. I didn't play this late into the game's evolution, so it's all new to me. Yeah. Like I said, this was pretty much when I was winding down. Abrupt Decay is a nice little removal spell. Can't be countered by spells or abilities. 2 cost instant. Destroy a non-land permanent with converted mana cost 3 or less. So very versatile. Just can't kill the really expensive stuff. There's Goblin Electromancer, instant and sorceries cost 1 less.
This late into the game's evolution, so it's all new to me. Hey, Dragovangdan!
Yeah, there'll be some definite examples.
No, you're not allowed to leave. You must stay.
Thanks for stopping in.
Tired.
There's yeah. There's some definite instances of power creep in this set, as I recall. I also played during the original Ravnica set, and was quite intrigued by the Shocklands at that time. But I admit that my interest had fallen off a little bit by this time. But it was always good to get a few more, because I didn't have anywhere near a playset or anything.
Guess what I got? Did I tell you? I told you, right? About the shipping notification for the surprise boxes?
Yes, you mentioned that. This overload mechanic.
Okay, I'll stay a few minutes. Aw,
the
thank
key
you.
One for the Izzet Guild. Counter Flux. Can't
How are
be
you doing?
countered by spells or abilities.
I should be
So this is sort of the Izzet version of the Abrupt Decay card. Each of the 5 guilds got a card that can't be countered by spells or abilities. Counter target spell you don't control, and you can overload. So it's not often that there's a bunch of spells on the stack that you want to counter them all at once, but against a Storm deck or something, it could happen. Hypersonic Dragon, this was one of the pre-release cards, there's a different pre-release card again for each of the different guilds, depending on
Ooh, I like that dragon.
which one you got. Yeah, the art on this one is kind of nice.
Can I have it?
It's 4/4 flying haste for 5. So again, a little bit power crept compared to the old air elementals and things.
Little monkey.
And you may cast sorcery spells as though they had flash. So
I can't add anything to Magic Talk,
nice
but I got some
bonus.
Pokemon cards in the mail today. Nice.
And then we've got the Niv Magus Elemental.
Ooh.
So this is basically the equivalent, and is it of the more famous, was it Death Rate Shaman? It was very popular. So this one, exile an instant or sorcery spell you control to put 2+1/+1 counters on the elemental. And there's a lot of counter type stuff going on in this deck as well. So, or in this set, I should say.
Brinley, bedtime.
So yeah, those were some odds and ends that I dug up.
So Brinley just came
So here's a few
out of her room asking for chocolate at bedtime.
Yeah, we were a little bit of a scramble to get things together here. So this is actually Gate Crash. You can tell the symbol here, which was the second set in the block. So not quite on theme, but I'll just thumb through these quickly. We got the Gargoyle. Basically, there was a big competition with all the 10 guilds, guild gates that you had to each had a champion that had to get through them all. In order to set up a new guild pact was the idea, but things got a little convoluted. That creature gains haste until end of turn. Yeah, just a gain control until end of turn spell. Scorched World, Ember Beast. This is not. Yeah, I'm just going to thumb through these quickly because this is not technically the right set, but it is related, so. A lot of these cards, I did use some cards from this to enhance the Bant
I'll have some
set.
chocolate too, please. Okay.
Because when I made the Bant deck originally, or was working on the idea for which decks to build, this deck has the white and blue and white and green guilds, but the green and blue guild, to finish off the triangle, wasn't introduced till in this block until Gate Crash officially. Well, Scab Clan Charger.
I got a baseball card in today.
Nice. Adaptive Snack. Evolve. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if that creature has greater power or toughness than this creature, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature.
Oh, nice.
That's an interesting ability.
It was $2 shipped for a card that costs 12 to 15. Nice. There's a guy at our Walmart that confirmed today that they're not getting too much Pokemon anymore because a lot of homeless people apparently are coming in and stealing stuff.
That was yesterday's, wasn't it? Oh, here's the Dimir Charm. Counter target sorcery spell or destroy target creature with power 2 or less, or look at the top 3 cards of target player's library and put one back and the rest into that player's graveyard. Most of those are a little narrower than I would like.
Out by Top Chat. Oh no, even the homeless are getting in on the gate. Yeah. Well, that's according to somebody who worked there, but no, there is actually one of the guys. I think he's been posting stuff on Facebook that I know is a homeless
I always
person.
found protection from creatures was a little bit.
I don't buy from him.
Interesting.
I don't buy much. I don't buy Pokemon stuff off Facebook. I just don't trust anybody.
Oh, there's a foil Duskmantle.
Oh, it's because he put you on. He had Top Chat on, and Top Chat was filtering you out from his messages. They should really have the Pokemon cards either behind the service desk or in the electronics department, or in a locked case. If the theft is that bad, it's not fair to not have it for people who want to buy it.
Oh. The problem with these boxes is you gotta balance things right.
I'll kiss it, but then you gotta go to bed.
So, Seller of Songbirds. When Seller of Songbirds enters the battlefield, put one white bird creature token with flying onto the battlefield.
Okay, go to bed.
So this gave you sort of a 2 creatures for 3 mana. This reminds me a little bit of Lingering Spirits, I think, which was in the previous block there. The Innistrad block. at some point. I forget which set specifically. And that was a sorcery, I think, that would give you 2 1/1 Flying Spirit Crow tokens, but you could flash it back from your graveyard. Essence Backlash. Counter target creature spell. Essence Backlash deals damage equal to that spell's power
I
to
always
its
forget
controller.
most people watch on a phone or iPad or whatever, not a gaming computer. Yeah.
Electrickery deals 1 damage to target creature you don't control, and you can overload it for 2. Neat little effect, but not great if you got a lot of things with more than 1 toughness. Unless you're playing multiple. Battlehorn enters the battlefield, you may destroy target artifact. There's a big pig. Roastabout. Regenerate and roastabout. Skeleton warrior.
I'm playing Stardew on my computer. I could literally pull YouTube up. But I got the notice on my phone, so nice. There you go.
Insect Shade. Remember the shades used to change a little bit.
Bed.
Frozen Shade was the first one.
Put it there.
And then you got Frozen Horror and Ice Age. And
Go to bed.
Good night.
Does anybody want to guess how many more good nights we're going to get from Brinley? Or should I just go close the door now?
Nantuko Shade was probably the most efficient one I remember. That was a 2/1 for 2 and with
12.
with the pumping ability.
At least it doesn't. I should have probably let Isabel hang out with them in the bedroom until she dozed off. She had a nap today, though.
Red Bridge Goliath, 5/5 for 4. So basically a green Jazam to Djinn. I guess 2 green makes it a little bit harder to cast than something like an Urnhand to Djinn. But then you've also got the Scavenge effect for 6. Exile this card from your graveyard to put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to this card's power on target creature. So a little bit of extra value there. Considering I used to play Ravenous Baloth from Onslaught, which was a 4/4 that you could sacrifice for 4 life. This is definitely a bit of an upgrade over that one. Growing ranks, the beginning of your upgrade, keep populate. Populate's a neat mechanic, but you need to have a lot of tokens to make it work, and they did try and get a fair number of tokens in here. Tokens, I don't know. See, this is something I see a lot of sets use token creatures and +1/+1 counters a lot more than they used to. It was really not introduced, because right from the first set you had the Hive, but the first set that used them heavily was Fallen Empires, and it was arguably not the best use of them, but they were fairly common in that set. And but yeah, it's definitely been more of a recurring theme lately. First Strike, Haste, 5/4 for 6. And again, this Unleash ability is the key word for Rakdos. Red-black house. Slaughter Games, again. This is the can't be countered spell for Rakdos. Name a non-land card, search target opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for a number of cards with that name and exile them. Then that player shuffles his or her library. So, this is basically gives you a sort of a Jester's Cap type effect, but what's the other one I'm thinking of? Not Pithing Needle. What was the other one that... There was another card previously that did this sort of thing. Oh yeah, Loxton Smiter. Of course, the white-green one is a creature that can't be countered. And if a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard Loxton Smiter, put it onto the battlefield instead of putting it into your graveyard. So, if your opponent casts a Hint of Torok on you and it would make you discard the Smiter, it just comes out into play for free, which is kind of nice. Otherwise, it's a 4/4 for 3 that can't be countered, which isn't horrible. Yeah. I kind of like this. It reminds me a bit of Dodecapod, which was the first creature that I remember, at least of significance. That I mean, it was an artifact. It was a 3/3 for 4, so you could run it in any deck. It wasn't as well costed as this, and it was an artifact creature, so it was a little easier to kill. But it had the same sort of, if it's discarded from your hand, it comes right into play. And in that case, it actually got 2+1/+1 counters. So then you'd get a
Terrible
5/5
fruit salad.
for free.
Okay. Wait a second. Snack interruption. We got these a long time ago, so they're a little expired, but they're still good because it's candy. It was in a box that came from the UK, and they're so good. They're so good. They're so good.
They look interesting.
They're
I've never
yummy.
tried them.
They're yummy. Anyways, speaking of candy. Ooh.
Just pump all your creatures spell. Counter flux. We already showed one of these. I got a couple.
Like
There's the Deathrite Shaman. This one's become rather popular. I think it actually got banned in a couple of formats since just a little bit too versatile, too much bang for your buck.
They're a little softer.
It only costs
than
one
ones,
in either
good.
black or green for a 1/2. Tap it and exile target land card from a graveyard to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Which, if you're using fetch lands and things, it's easy to set up. Or pay a black, tap, and exile an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. Or a green, tap and exile a creature card from your graveyard. You gain 2 life. So basically, you need some way to stock your graveyard, but that usually happens as games
That's what they look like.
Anyway, to a point.
Sorry.
Yep. And then we've got tokens.
They're actually on the soft side. They're a little softer, chewy candy.
Lots of centaurs. Lots of rhinos.
So good.
Some ooze tokens.
I need to ask my friends
tokens
from the UK if they ever send me mail to send me some. No, they're mocktails, so they're not real.
These are the tokens that Vrask makes.
Mocktails. So obviously there's no alcohol.
Sacrifice it unless you pay 1, and it comes into play tapped. Yeah, that was a little bit too much downside to make this really usable.
Isn't that where? Was that where? Oh, I wonder if that's. I got a message.
Rakdos Guildgate. Is it Guildgate?
One of the UK people I watch is from that area. I think
lots of those. Selesnya Guildgate. And then interestingly, each of the 5 colors in this set, there were 5 different arts instead of the usual.
They don't fit.
Yeah, that's one of each there. So most sets, when they release, you get 4 different arts for the basic lands. This one has 5. And in each color, one of the 5 was the original artwork from the original Ravnica.
Contains soy. It's alcohol free. See? Says so on the package.
I think it's this 5th one, but it might be the first one here. I'd have to double check. It's been a while since I looked at original Ravnica.
The art's kind of cool in those lands.
There's the plains. Ravnica is a very city-based, with the guilds and stuff. Plain.
So I saw somebody open a booster box of Fusion Strike today. I don't think they got anything good.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't expect to be honest.
And he's telling people not to open it if they have it. Don't spend $500. Well, it's US to open it. I'm like, well, I didn't. So
there's that.
I did spend over $200, but that was when it was getting
There's
hard.
another card. There's a couple of interesting cards that came out here that I found out later have actually gone. They're a lot more valuable than it was at first when I was first looking at this. Price on some of this stuff has gone up a bit. But there's a Syncopate. I used to like Power Sync, and this is vaguely similar but not as good. Counter target spell unless its controller pays X. If the spell was countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into your owner's graveyard. So this is sort of a cross between Power Sync and
Here, I'll let you have these 3.
And Dissipate, was it?
Eat one at a time, though.
How am I supposed to talk and eat
I don't know.
these? at the same time. That doesn't make any sense.
I could do it.
I'm sure you could. So here's Unblockable Spirit. Enters the battlefield to detain target creature and opponent controls.
Oh, it's so good.
Just grabs them. Here's the Azorius Charm. Creatures you control gain life link until end of turn, or draw a card. Put target attacking or blocking creature on top of its owner's library. Most of the charms are at least playable. Yeah, the detain mechanic was the Azorius clan's ability, but Azorius there's the new Prov Guild Mage.
Actually,
Guild Mages were always sort of neat.
the British import store might be able to bring these in if they don't have them.
Oh, they might. I don't know if we asked, but who knows. Judge's Familiar is kind of neat as a 1 cost again with the white or blue. The split mana symbols. I always found those an interesting concept. I think they've been overused personally, but it's an interesting concept. So it's got flying
Ooh, I
for
like it.
1/1. Sacrifice it to counter target instant or sorcery spell unless its controller pays 1. So it gets you a small flying body on the board, and just being able to have that way to punish people trying to efficiently cast their spells is more a nuisance than anything, but it's still an extra ability, which is sometimes relevant. So gain 3 life for a 3/3 centaur for 3.
Did you say you made a centaur deck, or you're hoping to, or something?
I think it was a Minotaur deck I was hoping to.
Minotaur. Okay, sorry.
Centaurs were even more sparse. I think early on in the game, Paralyze had a picture of a centaur on it from Alpha. But the first centaur I remember... Well, I mean, there was Windspeaker Centaur, which was a book promo. But from an actual set, might be like Jor-El's Centaur or something from Mirage. Like, they were not a common creature type.
Do you think Magic the Gathering would ever do a Harry Potter set?
Oh, who knows these days? They're crossing over with just about anything they can get their hands on.
That could be interesting.
It could be interesting, but to be honest, I'm not a big fan of all these Universes Beyond sets. Most of them fall really flat for me.
I'd want them to go with the art for that we have with the Harry Potter TCG game. Similar to that.
It would be interesting if they tried to revive that art style and brought back some of the artists, because they were all working for Wizards of the Coast, obviously, when it made that game. So
that would be neat.
Aquas Steed. Target creature gets -2 attack until end of turn. Not really a card I would generally run. Skyline Predator, flash flying. A little overcosted, in my opinion. Bluster Squall. Tap target creature you don't control, or all of them if you overload it.
My iPad is being silly.
Psychic Spiral. Shuffle all cards from your graveyard into your library. Target player puts that many cards from the top of his or her library into his graveyard. Pyro Convergence. Whenever you cast a multicolor spell, Pyro Convergence deals 2 damage to target creature or player. I remember thinking about trying to use this, but again, an enchantment that costs 5 can be tricky to set up.
Was it Magic that did the My Little Pony cards, or is that someone else? I think Magic did do some kind of My Little Pony thing, didn't they?
Was it? I don't know. I mean,
there is a.
I don't remember looking at who made that My Little Pony card game.
No. That wasn't Magic that did the My Little Pony card game. But
was it Wizards of the Coast? Is what I assume they meant. The company that makes Magic.
Somebody said that Magic the Gathering had, I don't know if it was a secret lair or something, but it was My Little Pony.
Oh, probably it could be a secret lair.
But
Yeah, probably the better Rakdos cards made their way into the deck, so maybe I should just skip to that.
Let's see.
There's the
where
Rakdos
would it say
Charm.
on here?
Exile all cards from target player's graveyard.
No, it's
Destroy target
Hasbro.
artifact, or each creature deals 1 damage to its controller. Ooh.
Hasbro did the My Little Pony game.
Okay.
Um,
Tavern Swindler. I think this has been reprinted a few times. Or maybe I've just seen the art somewhere else. Pay 3 life, flip a coin. If you win the flip, you gain 6 life.
yeah, it was probably a Secret Lair. This is the actual My Little Pony card game. Sorry, I keep rating his stream. You know, we should have a game that people can play and write down what are all the things that Mama Spocat interrupted the channel with throughout the stream, and then at the very end we can see who saw them all,
Oh boy.
and then we do like a raffle or something.
That could be quite
I didn't know
the
that
challenge.
I didn't know that you didn't expect us to have packs of that. Yeah, we actually bought a whole booster box of that set. I think it was from Hill's Wholesale back when it was cheap.
We got some starter decks to try the game out. We thought
then,
Isabel would like it.
Yeah.
And that box was particularly cheap at the time, so we grabbed one of those as well. And as time has gone on, the price on that
How
box
many points for singing?
keeps going up.
Oh, okay. You mean you got to keep track of, like, if I break into song, like when somebody's up. But then you guys just manipulate this thing and make me sing. You know, you find a way.
That's so expensive for a removal spell. I mean, getting your opponent to discard a card as well is nice, but 6 for a sorcery speed removal just seems way too much.
Or you could just do. You guys actually the mods can come up with a game and a point system. That could be fun, actually. Hey, you guys want to come up with a game and a point system? I don't know how to do it.
This is a nice little cheap equipment that works well in multicolor theme. Equipped creature gets +1 attack for each of its colors. So basically, on a 2-color creature, this should be the equivalent of a bond splitter, which was quite a popular
the rest of the houses
earlier
at work
equipment.
were in bed.
Tablet of the Guilds. Choose 2 colors. Whenever you cast a spell, if it's at least one of the chosen colors, you gain 1 life for each of the chosen colors. Interesting.
These guys are really good. I need somebody to get me some more.
Oh yes, the key runes. So you can get your 2 colors of mana, or you can make it into a creature. So a 2/2 blue bird artifact creature token with flying. In this one's case, is it a 1/2 blue and red elemental artifact creature? And deals combat damage to a player. You may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. So a little extra ability on that. The Rakdos one, a 3/1 black and red devil artifact creature with first strike. That could be quite effective as a blocker too. Golgari Key Rune, 2/2 black and green insect artifact creature with death touch. Street Sweeper. Destroy all auras attached to target land. That's pretty narrow, I think. It is a 4/6 for 6 that any deck could run, so it might be useful in a draft environment. Rogue's Passage. Target creature is unblockable this turn. I think this has seen play in some EDH or commander decks. It can be handy to be able to force a creature through. So, and it does tap for colorless, so it's not putting you too bad back on your curve. But clunk. Alright. Last bundle before we get to one of the decks, I think. Oh, we got some Golgari stuff. Slitherhead. So here's the black or green 1/1 That's all it is, just a plant zombie 1/1, but you can scavenge 0. Exile this card from your graveyard for free to put, in this case, 1+1/+1 counters on target creature as a sorcery. So that's sort of neat as far as it goes. A Guild Mage. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains Intimidate until end of turn. Or sacrifice a creature to put X green supporting creature tokens onto the battlefield, where X is the creature's toughness. Yeah, supporlings making their, well, not return, they've been around between. But yeah, that's another flashback to Fallen Empires. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn. Another target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. There used to be a card in the same colors that did this, but cost 3, and it was +2/+2 and -2/-2. That one was quite good. But for 6 as a sorcery, this just seems too clunky to me. I mean, you could have some effect with it, it's just expensive. Brush Strider. It's a cute little critter. 3/1 vigilance. Magistrate Liddy agreed to designate land for the Brush Striders only after several broken windows and dozens of missing blini cakes. Interesting. Oak Street Innkeeper. As long as it's not your turn, tapped creatures you control have hexproof. A little bit of extra protection in certain conditions. Ooh, a lure creature. And then it can scavenge. So sometimes it's, I'm trying to think. Is it Master Decoy? Usually lure type creatures. Or no, that tapped creature's down. When was the last lure creature I can remember? Elvish Bard did it, but that cost 5. That was back in Alliances. I'm trying to remember if there's a cheaper one. Goblin Ooze.
I'm just thinking if we actually made that a game for streams, people kept track.
It's a pretty big spider, but it costs 7. Reach and trample. Again, maybe something I picked up in a draft if I was looking for just a big body. I don't know. That game would be. You'd have to give notice of what you're doing well in advance, I think.
Well, yeah, obviously, it's not something we just start now. We'd have to maybe put it in. Maybe put in a members post so that only members could play, and then
basic combat trick.
And then people would be like, "What are you doing?" They'd be wondering why points are popping up every once in a while. All right, have a good night, Dragon Fang Dan. Appreciate you.
Thanks for coming out. Sorry we didn't get to the dragons.
You showed a dragon early on.
Well, yeah, there was the one. And Niv-Mizzet himself, but
we can just do a video of just cool dragons.
Oh, maybe.
And tag him in it, and I want to be a dragon. Who doesn't? That'd be cool to be a dragon and fly all over the place.
See, the abilities on these guild mages, the other original guild mages, the abilities were fairly cheap, I think. These ones are just paying 6 or 4 for these abilities is just a lot. Risen Sanctuary, 8/8 Vigilance.
I ate all my candies. I only have the 3 left for you.
What
happens if you're a dragon that's afraid of heights?
Well, there are a few dragons out there without flying, so...
You're a river dragon.
Or an Elder Landworm. Or a Zodiac Dragon. Fencing Ace.
You're a Garchomp.
1/1 double strike. It could be. Garchomp honestly looks like it would be a good swimmer, but I don't think that's necessarily the case either.
Ooh. Let's Google something. information about card shop, because why not? How many times do you mention Pokemon on a Magic the Gathering stream?
Well, it depends. Creature tokens you control get +1/+1 for a Phantom General.
Okay, so he's a ground type Pokemon. Introduced in Generation 4. Large bipedal dragon-like Pokemon. His body is mainly navy blue in color with some red gold accents. Shark-like head. Yeah.
The first Garchomp I ever had was a shiny one that you got as your reward in Black 2 for,
Draws
I don't know, doing
inspiration
something.
from several sources,
Beating the
including
tower,
hammerhead
maybe.
shark, elements of a jet aircraft, and classic dragons from mythology.
Detain up to 2 target creatures. That's could be annoying.
So he's not even a water dragon at all.
No.
That's so sad. He should be a water dragon.
It's land type.
Wait, Dratini's
very weak to ice.
Isn't Dratini a water dragon?
No. It's just dragon type.
Dragonair?
Eventually, the Dragonair, when it evolves to Dragonite, it becomes a flying dragon. And
but I've got like a card with it in the water.
Yeah, I mean, you originally catch them in a lake, so I guess they do spend time there.
He's always grounded. Ground dragon. Yeah.
The beginning of your upkeep of enchanted permanence controller, that player sacrifices it unless they pay X, where X is its converted mana cost. Ooh, that could be really annoying. But they'd probably just let it go. I don't know. Depends, I suppose.
I had a scammer call today, and when I told him that if I wanted any of the services from the company, I would just call them directly, he hung up on me without even saying goodbye. Tell me that you're a scammer without telling me you're a scammer.
Right. Rocks is the Eros Charms. We're getting... Oh, there's the weird. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Blister Quill weird gets +1/+1 until end of turn and untap it. Nivix Guildmage. This one's a little cheaper. Draw a card, then discard a card. Excuse me. For 3, or copy target instant or sorcery spell you control.
I wonder how long it'll take before I get that stuff from the Pokemon Center.
Who knows?
They're pretty quick when they ship it out.
Thought Flare. Draw 4 cards, then discard 2 cards. Yeah, it's a bigger number, but it's... Yeah, I don't think it's as efficient as some things.
It says complete.
Vandal Blast. Again, destroying artifacts.
Ooh, 3 to 8 business days. It could be here this week. It could be here possibly by Thursday. Probably won't be, but could be.
That would take a lot of mana, but...
It says Friday. But maybe be early.
Who knows?
It's coming FedEx.
Gutter Snipe. I think I recall that one being used a bit. Ooh. Yeah. Here's a Minotaur. 6/2 first strike haste.
He's pretty cool
7.
looking. He's really
It
cool
is
looking.
cool looking, but that is way overcosted.
Ooh, it's a so you need something else to kind of protect it or something, right?
No, what you need is a Didgeridoo.
What's a didgeridoo?
The Didgeridoo from Homelands. It's an artifact that costs 1 to cast, but you can pay 3 at any time as an instant to just put a Minotaur from your hand into play.
Oh, okay.
So...
Reminds me of Ball Lightning Reimagined.
All of a sudden, you'd be paying 3 for your 6/2 first strike haste, which would be nice. Or dropping this out on your opponent's turn as a 6/2 first strike blocker to take out something. Under those scenarios, yeah, this would go real nice with Didgeridoo. Most Minotaurs only cost 3 or 4, so this does give you, you know, if you're casting it that way, a bit more value, but man, is that expensive to cast normally. A little bit like Ball Lightning, except Ball Lightning had trample and died at end of turn. So this has got first strike instead of trample. So it's a little bit better for fighting other creatures, but not as much good as at dealing damage to your opponent.
We could.
But man, that cost 7 is just so much.
We could run a scavenger hunt, where we have to, like, if there's a card that we want to know what the going price is for it, the first person that gets back to us with the price, gets a point.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Put
just say it could be fun.
4 goblins onto the battlefield for 5 mana.
It could be fun.
Target creature gains haste until end of turn. Enchantment.
And we could change up different cards. It doesn't even have to be the same. Oh yeah, that could be fun.
Alright. Let's get a look at a deck for a change here. Oh, this isn't the deck. This is extra cards. Yeah, so this is other stuff that's sort of contemporary, I guess. When did this come out? 2012? M13 was around. I remember this creature was a thing at the time. Always carry 2 spears. The Thragtusk enters the battlefield, you gain 5 life. When it leaves the battlefield, put a 3/3 beast token into play. So you're getting, for 5 mana, you're 5/3, and then when it dies, you get a 3/3, and you gain 5 life on top of that. Thunderous Wrath. 6 mana as an instant. Deal 5 damage to target creature or player. But you can miracle it for 1 red. When you draw it, if it is the first card you drew this turn. So you got to set it up to be the top card of your deck for that, or just make use of it. Oh, there's a Tybalt. That's again from Innistrad. At the time, this was the cheapest Planeswalker that ever made in terms of casting cost. A 2-cost Planeswalker. It was pretty inexpensive. +1, draw a card, and then discard a card at random is pretty ugly.
I'm trying to think of a question I can ask chat.
Oh, here's another one of the... This is from the Gate Crash expansion, the Watery Grave. And again, from the Gate Crash, the Stomping Ground. So these are some of the other ones that I had that weren't being used. But those lands are certainly... and again, light-green with the token creature theme. Grave Betrayal. Enchantment. Whenever a creature you don't control dies, return it to the battlefield under your control with an additional +1/+1 counter on it at the beginning of the next end step. That creature is a black zombie in addition to its other colors.
I just asked a question.
That's... Oh, man. It's a strong effect, but man, that's a lot of mana for an enchantment to just sit there that doesn't do anything itself. You still have to set up other ways of getting things to die. But, yeah, I could see this doing some work in the right situation. If you could unbad any one card from MTG, what would it be and why?
I have no idea what's banned and what's not, so this is just me curiously asking.
I mean, it depends on the format. Because every format has its own separate ban list.
Anything banned due to its art that people consider offensive.
Yeah, that might be a way to go. Regenerate, trample.
But I said one card. One card. You gotta pick one. Or is that the category that you're thinking?
If 1 or more +1/+1 counters will be placed on a creature you control, twice that many +1/+1 counters instead. Wild Beastmaster. Other creatures you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the Beastmaster's power.
Okay, the original sorcery.
There's another Death Rich Goliath. Death's Presence. Whenever a creature you control dies, put X+1/+1 counters on target creature you control where X is the power of the creature that died. So this
I'm
keeps your
behind.
power
Holy cow.
present. Mana Bloom. Mana Bloom enters the battlefield with X charge
Ooh.
counters on it.
I like that art.
Remove a charge counter from Mana Bloom. Add 1 mana of any color to your
Get
mana
rid
pool.
of a ritual cycle symbol
Only
or circle
once each
symbol
turn.
and put nothing in its place. Why is my mine is behind?
Got rid of a ritual circle symbol.
Maybe the comment before or something.
And at the beginning of your upkeep, if it has no charge counters on it, return it to your hand so you can recharge it.
Oh wait, or there's a symbol that they banned or something for a set because of the symbol was. Is that what he means? I don't know. Didn't that happen once? It was like something.
Oh, the that was
Just took out the pentagram in the background.
Unholy Strength. Unholy Strength did that. That was a creature enchantment. Precinct Captain, 2/2 first strike. When Precinct Captain deals damage to a player, put a 1/1 soldier onto the battlefield.
It's like it's the silly
Palisade Giant.
The silly things why they ban things like with the Dr. Seuss books when they go and ban certain books because in today, like how they think everything is offensive.
So this was an upgraded version of Veteran Bodyguard. Veteran Bodyguard.
2/1 on the enchanted creature, right?
Yeah, +2/+1 for 1 black to play. Was that one? This costs 1 more, but it's got 2 more toughness, and instead of creatures unblocked damage from unblocked creatures get redirected to it, it's damage to you or another permanent you control is just dealt to it.
It was actually the company the Dr. Seuss company, they themselves have banned some of the books.
Okay, these I think I'm gonna be pulling out of here because I have an idea for refurbishing one of my old rather zany types of decks, and this card might be useful in it.
Actually, there was 4 books they banned, I think, wasn't it, or was it 6?
Huh?
Dr. Seuss. Was it 4 or 6 stories they banned?
I thought it was 4, at least initially. Maybe there's more now. I don't know. But when Rest in Peace enters the battlefield, exile all cards from all graveyards. And if a card or token would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. So this has got sort of a similar effect to Leland of the Void, except a little bit extra with the come into play effect. But, yeah.
I think I have like a Dr. Seuss books that has
I've got a Leland deck, which these might actually be handy in.
2 or 3 of the stories that were
I've
banned.
heard this has been reprinted a bunch of times since then, but...
I love Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, Dr. Seuss is nice. I liked a lot of the classic stories.
I like the tongue twister one. I used to read to the kids a lot.
Mm-hmm. I remember I used to always ask my parents for Bartholomew Cubbins and his 500 Hats just because it was one of the longer stories on the children's shelf.
I'm sure they just loved that.
Oh, yeah. Righteous Authority.
A Little Bug That One Could Chew. That's my favorite. I remember that one. Abram loved that one. He used to act out the sounds. All right. So we can chat. Much love to you all. I'm starting to fall asleep watching. No, we're too boring. Maybe that's what people want. They want us to be boring so they can fall asleep.
Cards. Maybe.
We need excitement.
I don't know.
We need excitement.
Okay, here's another power creep example. Because this is the same power and toughness and casting cost as the old Mahamonti to Jin, except it's a Sphinx. And it's exactly the same stats and ability flying, except it's also got discard 2 non-land cards with the same name to draw 4 cards. This has gotten wildly superseded since now, because the River Regent dragon there from Tarkir Dragonstorm was so much better than this for the
Can you
gas and
imagine if
cost.
they did a crossover with Pokemon? That'd be crazy.
It would be crazy. I can't see the Pokemon Company doing it, to be honest. They're very protective of their IP.
They'd have to have full like rights and stuff over it. Cause like I'm just thinking what they like the cards that they could do, the fun stuff they could do.
Okay, this is interesting. I always thought this was an interesting ability, but you got to be playing it in the right deck with a lot of copies of different cards. Because it gets you slowly some extra card advantage, and then if you manage to clear off all 5 cards, then you get to take an extra turn as well. Odds are this would get taken out long before then, though.
I feel like this card should be displayed somewhere.
Currency. Yeah.
So pretty.
Firemind's Foresight. There's that dragon we showed one up before. Search your library for an instant card with converted mana cost 3. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and repeat the process with cards with converted mana cost 2 and 1. So the interesting thing with this, well, no.
You know, it could be fun.
No, that wouldn't work. But you're paying 7 to get 6 total cost and 3 cards.
Find all the coolest Pokemon dragons and all the coolest Magic the Gathering dragons, and have people vote on which one is like the arts. Just kind of put the arts against each other. You like pick your favorite dragon.
Yeah, maybe.
Like that one, and then we could just be like, oh, this one.
This one was the mythic rare 8 cost red dragon from the set. Flying, whenever a dragon you control attacks, put a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying onto the battlefield. So this can really populate your skies in a hurry.
Oh my
so
goodness.
I'm trying to think if this would be worth popping into my Dragonstorm deck. I'd need a way to give it haste, but you know, basically it doubles your supply of dragons whenever you attack. Pithing Needle, this is a reprint. I think this was originally from Kamigawa block. Was it Betrayers of Kamigawa or was it Champions of Kamigawa? I forget now.
I don't know.
But it's a completely different art. But this was sort of a tournament
That's supposed to be a
card to
unicorn
stop
horn
things.
or something.
No.
What is it?
Basically, it's to rip a thought out of your opponent's mind.
Ooh, that's...
So, when it comes into play, name a card, activated abilities and sorceries with the chosen name, and it's to block a certain card from being used. Not anyway.
That is an unpleasant thought.
Chromatic Lantern. Lands you control have tap for 1 mana of any color. And add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. So basically this just immediate complete mana fixing. So that's kind of neat.
Such a pretty card.
I have to check. I wonder if this has been reprinted a bunch of times or if this is used in multicolor decks much. I don't know. I'm trying to think if this was a popular card or not.
Sorry, which one?
Chromatic Lantern.
What am I supposed to... Where do I look up? What?
I don't know. Just a quick search to see if it's expensive or if it's been reprinted a bunch of times.
Okay. Okay, let me see the card.
Voltaic Rig. Artifact Construct. Yeah. Not very stable.
Okay.
Golgari Charm Foil. All creatures get -1/-1. Destroy an enchantment or regenerate each creature you control. Could be useful enough.
Okay, there's definitely different printings.
I figured they probably would have
Outlaws
reprinted
of
it.
Thunder Junction. It was in that set.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It was in Universes Beyond Warhammer 1. Guilds of Ravnica.
Yeah. Oh, here's one of the Gate Crash Planeswalkers. Gideon, Champion of Justice. 4 cost. Oops.
Oh, you should have some more mail coming soon, shouldn't you?
I don't know. For a +1, put a loyalty counter on Gideon, Champion of Justice for each creature target opponent controls, so that can build up his loyalty in a hurry.
It's so exciting.
0 until end of turn, Gideon, Champion of Justice becomes an indestructible human soldier creature with power and toughness each equal to the number of loyalty counters on him. He's still a planeswalker. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to him this turn. Or exile all other permanents for 15. Yikes. Well, that sort of works against himself to a point, but it's interesting. I never was a huge Planeswalkers fan, so haven't kept up with those. Here's a mythic rare, I think.
Oh, is that a dragon coming up?
From the other set. Ghost Council.
Is that a dragon coming up?
At the beginning of your end step, you may exile Obsdat. If you do, return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of your next...
Ooh, this is going to be an interesting question. Could swap.
Assemble Legion. Firemain Avenger is an angel with battalion. Sylvan Primordial. Yeah, these are all Gate Crash cards. So these are extras that I put in the box because they were part of the block, but they're, for the most part, take a look at a quick chunk of these.
There we go. I have a question, both for chat and you. It's a weird question.
If you would swap any 2 dragons, one from MTG to Pokemon and one Pokemon to MTG, what would they be and how would you reimagine them to fit the other game?
Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
It could be kind of neat.
I think Giratina might be one of the better ones to swap.
I don't know.
From Pokemon to be able to go over, or you take something that's really, really cute.
I don't know. You'd have to come up with
scary.
something unique, and that takes more thought than I can do right now. Like, I don't know. Unless you're just looking for something iconic, just for the sake of being iconic.
Well, it can be anything. Like, it can be whether you want to make something that would fit easier in the other game, or something
I forgot they
that's
reprinted
really
Giant Growth in here.
That would you
This
have
card
to turn
is
it to fit the other game.
of the original boons. This one's been reprinted by far the most often, I think. Dark Ritual was in the running for a while, but then they decided it was just too strong and stopped printing it.
I think
They bring back Lightning Bolt once in a while, but I think Giant Growth has been the most popular.
This is gonna have to be a question I think that I put in on a post just to see what the viewers think. Because I think
it's just there's too many options. It's just too complicated, and it's too much. Just what cards do I like that I
It's for anyone. I mean, it can be the answer doesn't have to be right or wrong. It just would be. You just have to say what you like. Which one you'd like to swap into the other game.
Aerial Predation. Destroy target creature with flying, gain 2 life.
Mega Charger X? Mega Charizard X?
Target card from your graveyard to your hand.
Mega Charger X.
This is basically regrowth, except you have to exile it. I don't know.
Let's see. No. I googled it and didn't get anything, or not googled it, but I'm not getting anything. I don't know what you're talking about. You mean Charizard? Mega
What?
Charizard X? Ryan said Mega Charger X. I'm assuming he means.
Mega Charizard X, I assume
Yeah.
is the one he means. Which is the only Charizard they've made that's actually a dragon type, as far as I know.
Okay, see, I consider Charizard a dragon because he looks like a dragon.
Yeah, but that's not how it works in Pokemon.
I don't care.
Destroy a monocolored creature. I think this one I tried playing for a while because there's a lot of monocolored creatures out there, or at least there used to be.
Are they gonna bring this guy back? Because I hear they're bringing like the Mega Zards.
Yeah, Mega Evolutions are coming back in general, so I would imagine that the more popular ones will be there in some form.
Because I like them. I'm looking at a picture.
They'll probably introduce some new ones too, and
oh, he's really cool.
some way.
You know, Mega Charizard's gonna come back. You just know it.
Well, Charizard and Mewtwo were the only ones that I know of that got 2 Mega Evolutions. You had an X version and a Y version for each.
Pokemon's getting a new rarity. A new rarity?
Oh, fun. Excellent creature then. Yeah, so these are all just the commons. Doorkeeper's kind of cute. Well, ugly and cute. 0-4
When does the next set come out?
Christmas library.
Because I'd like to try and get some for the first week.
I don't know. Combat damage to a player, draw a card.
It's the end of the month. I'm going to Google some more.
When rolling dice, draw a card. 2/2 falling for 4. Void Wielder. Turn target
May
creature
30th.
on his hand.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an expensive Man of War. End of the month. Downside.
Ooh, Black Bolt and White Flare is the other one that's coming after that. Planned release in English July 18th. Well.
Counter an instant for 1. Regular cancel. Inspiration is not the best.
I'm tired, guys.
Yeah, this is basically just going through the commons in the set. There's some interesting ones, but they're less exciting. So maybe I'll just skip ahead to the decks and we can try and get a game in. Flash Vigilance.
Oh my goodness. You know, I would never do it. But if we both put up like our top card that we have and be like, okay, listen, winner has to trade it into a shop. I would never do that. Even though your cards have more value, your top card has more value than mine. I don't think I can do that.
Hellhole Flailer. This is the Rakdos deck, so it's a red-black deck. And it's probably a little bit more focused because it's just about the one.
Yeah, that would not be a good idea now, would it?
Probably not. 3 cost 3/2 with Unleash, so it can be a 3/4, but then it can't block. And sacrifice it by paying 4 to deal damage equal to its power to target player. Ogre Warrior. So this is probably a pretty aggressive deck. Ash Zealot. That's a rare. 2 red. First strike, haste. Whenever a player casts a spell from a graveyard, Ash Zealot deals 3 damage to that player. Okay, so this is sort of an anti-scavenge type mechanic, and maybe there's another one that does it too.
Hey, Broly, how are you doing? Welcome in.
Underworld Connections.
I think
Broly,
I think you would like that game. You came in because we were talking about it. I was saying if Barry and I played a game and we put up like our best cards, and although instead of trading into a shop, the loser would have to give it to somebody in chat. That'd be crazy.
That would be pretty nuts.
You would love that, Broly. I know you would. That could be fun. Okay,
So
not the best
this
card,
is the
but
type of card that I think Unleash works well enough on.
that actually could be fun if we did that with like a couple decent cards.
There's the Rakdos Charm. I don't know.
Like not something that we want to keep, but something that we want to, a couple cards that we want to.
Prizes.
That could be fun.
Could be interesting.
We'll be like, okay, the winner keeps the card, the loser has to give it to chat. Ooh, that is fun. I like it.
Fire does 3. Again, with you trying, as I'm focused on doing other
I'm
things,
so sorry.
you're trying to rope me into deals like you did with Thomas that I'm not even thinking of. Like, annihilating fire does 3 damage to target creature or player. If a creature dealt damage this way would die this turn, exile it instead. Okay.
That is a cool art on that fire one. It's also kind of creepy.
Thrill, kill, assassin.
I'm giving Broly ideas.
Touch. Dread Boar. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. 2 cost. See, that's decent, even though it's only sorcery speed. Being able to take out planeswalkers is a nice little addition.
Or if you're doing a pack battle or something like that. Or in Broly's case, how he does pack battle kindas with people in chat. The winner keeps their card, and the loser top card goes to chat. That have to be agreed upon with everybody in the thing, though. But that could be fun.
This is sort of like Flame Wave, except one less red.
I keep distracting you. I'm sorry. I don't know what Ryan thinks. To keep your card, you gotta win. Oh, my goodness. I've been watching too much Broly. I'm getting all these crazy ideas.
Beginning of each player's upkeep, that player loses half his or her life rounded up. Ugh.
I love ideas. Feel free to use any of the ideas you get here tonight. I think I might have to charge you a percentage of ideas or something. You know, just kidding. I'm kidding. I can't even talk properly. My brain is done. What's your most expensive Magic cards?
For me, it's got to be the old classics.
What happens if the cards are exact same price?
They're not.
Yeah, they're not.
See, a lot of mine are old classics. Like I've got a Black Lotus, but it is in such rough condition, it makes it hard to evaluate what it's worth.
Is your Shazam worth more than that?
No, I don't think so. It's also in rough shape, but not as rough. But it's a card which is nowhere near worth as much as a Lotus.
Do you have a card that's like almost 10,000 or something like that?
That would be the Lotus, depending on how it's evaluated. Again, it's really bad condition. But then there's stuff like the Beta Time Walk, which is probably my next most valuable card at a guess. It's also played condition.
I'll show you my most valuable card. Broly already knows what it is.
Okay, here's another thing with this set. Again, coming right after Innistrad, there's a lot of vampires.
This is my most valuable card.
This is not a vampire.
Well, the Lotus can cost a lot, yeah.
It can. The one I have is like the cheapest officially playable one you can get from Unlimited. But like I said, it's in such unbelievably rough shape that you
I love that, Tina.
Grading companies would not take it.
I wonder where I got that card from.
Whenever a creature you control does come damage to a player, put that many plus one counters on it. But yeah, there's the classic horror theme is interesting because you've got.
Yes, it's very heavily plated. It looked like somebody might have marked up the back with marker. Was that the Black Lotus one?
No, the Black Lotus. Yeah, it's got it might have had its border inked. It's
Although there's some cards that
very
look
very
like
heavy play wear, and it's been like dropped, so like the corner is creased at the bottom, and it's got some potential like from rifle shuffling creasing in the middle as well. Like it's a very well played card, and yeah, it's definitely damaged condition in more than one way. So but what it's actually worth, well, that depends on what you would find someone who would have to. Yeah, it's beyond heavy play. It's damaged.
I'll have to find.
So
I'll have to find the rate it or hate it we did on it and kind of send that link to you so you can see what we mean.
yeah, maybe.
Was it a rate it or hate or just a little chat about it? I can't remember what we did. But it's a fun conversation piece, that's for sure.
Yeah, it can be.
Correct.
Whether it's actually my most expensive card is probably debatable. Like I said, the beta Time Walk might give it a run for its money. I'm not sure. I'd have to check. But
what about your Icy Manipulator one?
That's an uncommon.
Oh.
So no. The other Power 9 I have in the official version is an Ancestral Recall. It's probably my better condition one. It might only be, lightly played or something. But Unlimited's not worth as much as Beta, and, nothing's worth as close to a Lotus if you're looking at comparable conditions anyway.
So you've been collecting for a long time.
Yeah. This is an interesting beastie, but very conditional.
There's a lot of cards that are like.
I was trying to get into a whole spiel about vampires and the horror theme, but that got derailed entirely.
I'm sorry.
Here's Chaos Imps. Almost looks dragonish, but no, those are imps. Maybe demonish almost. It's trample as long as it has a +1/+1 counter.
I like the new dragon set that came out. That one was fun to open. The Tarkir Dragon Storm. That was fun.
Yeah, Dragonstorm was a lot of fun and very thematic as well. Pack Rat. Are each equal to the number of rats you control. Discard a card, put a token onto the battlefield as a copy of Pack Rat. There's some mortars. There was a card that I thought was in here, but maybe I'm thinking of it from a different area. Anyway. But yeah. It's interesting how vampires have sort of shifted over the years as to how they're perceived. I'm pretty sure this is just a box of land I used as a divider. What I'm talking about there.
What's wild is almost all the local card store near me have Magic tournaments. Yeah, a lot of them do.
It's a popular game to play with. I would say Magic has more of its fan base that's players, whereas with Pokemon, more of the fan base is collectors. There's still some of each in both, of course, but I think the Magic fan base is more heavily weighted towards people who play. Martial Law. So this is the deck that's red, green, and white. And I'm not seeing... sorry, no, not red, green, and white.
I wish
blue,
I knew
green,
where
and white. But
the one deck I tried to make when I didn't know what I was doing. Wish I knew where that went.
At the beginning of your upkeep, detain target creature an opponent controls. You just can detain something every turn. That's annoying. There's the Selesnya Charm. Target creature gets +2/+2 and trample until end of turn. Or exile a creature with power 5 or greater. Or put a 2/2 white knight creature token on the battlefield with vigilance. And there's a Centaur.
We should do another stream, like revisiting one of the older ones again. Now that we have like a higher viewer base.
Oh, maybe we should. I've been thinking of redoing the Homelands one, which was the first one we tried, and trying to do it a little bit better, especially with the anniversary of Homelands coming up at the end of the year. Maybe. I don't know if it's worth opening some for that or not. But I was also thinking of doing Darksteel
Okay.
But there's at least 2 key cards that I just can't find that I think I had in my collection, but I can't find them.
Does your brother have any of those?
I have no idea. Grove of the Guardian. Tap 2 untapped creatures you control and pay 5. Sacrifice Grove of the Guardian, put an 8/8 green and white elemental token with vigilance onto the battlefield. Okay, so that's that other creature, basically. But this is a land that can turn into it. That's interesting. Detention Sphere. What oh, it's a foil one. Ooh. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile target non-land permanent not named Detention Sphere.
That is kind
and
of
all
cool
other
looking
permanents with the same name.
Nice foil, yeah.
When Detention Sphere leaves the battlefield, return exiled cards.
That kind of looks like the Illuminati symbol.
That's the clan symbol for the Orzhov. Here's the Hallowed Fountain. So these are why these were special when the original Ravnica came out was because basically these were the first official reprints of the dual lands.
Okay.
Where they tried to make a fixed version. So it counts as a plains or an island, straight up, just like the original dual lands do. But with this, to make it more fair, they gave it a downside. So when it enters the battlefield, you have to pay 2 life, or it comes into play tapped.
Okay.
So either you can't use it the first turn it comes into play, or they call them shock lands, because it'll get you either your 2 colors, but you got to pay 2 life to do it on the turn it comes down. So...
Ooh, that next one's creepy. I don't like it. Don't look at it.
Corstone's Judgment. Yeah, we looked at one of these before. Exile creature, then populate. It's a little expensive for what it does. Dryad Militant.
Oh, now I'm seeing it on here because I got a delay on my iPad.
If an instant or sorcery card would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. So, helps combat graveyard shenanigans. And basically, again, with the power creep, a 2/1 for 1 was basically Savannah Lion, except now it's easier to cast because you can use green in. It's got an extra ability. And Soldier is a more useful creature type. I don't know about Dryad, maybe that too now. There's another one. Another martial law. There's the Guild Gate for...
oh, Broly, my surprise boxes should be here by Friday. Yay, I got the shipping notification. I'm so excited.
Okay, so this one turns into a 3/3 green and white wolf artifact creature token.
That's what it says when I click the what you
sort
call
of like
it?
Watch Wolf, except an artifact.
Tracking number. I can't wait.
And again, this gives you a 3/3 creature for your 1 white and 1 green, so sort of like Watch Wolf, except it's a centaur as a token. Centaurs are sent to evangelize in Gruul territory, where words of war speak louder than prayers of peace.
I like that one. The art is really neat.
It is neat. I always kind of liked centaurs.
Can I look at it a little closer?
Sure. There's a foil plains, syncopate.
That is really cool. I like it.
Another detention sphere, this time not foil.
That's really cool. I like this one.
There's that Loxton Smiter again. The Elephant Soldier. 4/4 for 3, can't be countered, and if something your opponent does makes you discard it, it just comes out for free.
I think Harry Potter would be amazing to do a crossover with it. And they could do a really good job. Because they have centaurs, they have all kinds of things.
Well, see, that's the thing with Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering takes definitely more of the C.S. Lewis route to things, except even more than C.S. Lewis did than Tolkien. Because Tolkien kept his mythologies together, right? He didn't want anything Greek in with dwarves and stuff and elves, which were northern mythology. But Lewis didn't mind mixing them. So there you see centaurs and fauns mixing together with, the dwarves and the harpies and everything else. Well, not everything else, because Magic's taken that to the extremes now, too, where they mix in, zombies and vampires and
Yeah.
along with some real world characters very
Oh my
rarely.
goodness.
And
I'm just having images of somebody like doing
there's
a
the
zombie version of
Judges familiar
Lord of the Rings or something
again.
like that, or a zombie version of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe series.
Here's one of the Simic lands I worked in.
That'd be crazy.
Maybe it was just lands that I brought in from Gatecrash for this deck. There's the Centaur Healer again. Oh, Sundering Growth. 2 white or green mana. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, then populate. So again, destroy an artifact or enchantment has always been sort of either disenchant or later naturalized, and so here you can use either color mana and you get populate. But there's no colorless left there, so it's sort of an interesting.
There's a lot. That art on that card is really neat too, though.
It is different for sure. One day every pillar will be a tree and every hall a glade. And there's the Temple Garden, so there's the Forest Plains one for the Shocklands.
If you did decide to do some streams of just reading a book, could you get in trouble for that?
Depends on the book. If it's still available under copyright or not. Otherwise, there's probably some hoops you have to jump through. Gatecreeper Vine. So 0/2 Defender, basically wall plant for 2 mana. And when Gatecreeper Vine enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card or a gate card. Reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So this will help you with your mana fixing. If all you've got is green, you could use it to go get, say, or Azorius Gilgate here, which provides white and blue, but comes into play tapped. But if all I had was green mana, here's 2 more colors for me, It depends on the situation. Another Detention Sphere. Vitugazu Guildmage. Cyclonic Rift is interesting because this is a card which originally I just threw in because it was the right colors and it looked like a playable.
The art is cool.
A playable card. Basically, I'm used to Boomerang being, a useful playable thing just to have as a catch-all. 2 blue to return target permanent to owner's hand. This is a return target non-land permanent, so it's not quite as various in targets. And it's a permanent you don't control, so you can't save your own stuff with it as well. So it's definitely narrower. But the casting cost is a little easier. Instead of 2 blue, it's 1 and a blue. But this overload ability, if you get into the late game, could be quite backbreaking. Because all of a sudden you pay 7 and return all non-land permanents you don't control to their owner's hand. So everything on your opponent's side of the board other than their lands gets scooped back up. And whatever they had for blockers or shenanigans. Yeah, it all just sort of disappears, at least temporarily, until they can recast it, which could let you swing through or whatever.
I was just thinking Rayquaza could
But
be
apparently,
another good one that could go over to Magic.
Apparently, this little basic rare here has become one of the chase cards of the set.
Oh, really?
Because it became very popular for commander decks. So, like I said, this was just a regular rare that I thought looked interesting and playable, so I decided to throw in. But
Ray to Magic would be nice. Yeah, I think that they could do a really good job with Rayquaza and Magic.
They probably could. And Call of the Conclave.
Or even Aerodactyl.
Again.
There's so many of them they could.
Here's the.
We need somebody to reimagine the dragons in
Island
Pokemon
Forest from Gatecrash.
That'd be cool. Oh, somebody needs to do that. Who does that kind of stuff?
Supreme Verdict foil. This is one of the things that I think featured into the story of the set. Whereas
that is a pretty looking card.
If the champions didn't meet the requirements of the competition, then Supreme Verdict would get passed down instead of a new guild pack, basically. And it can't be countered to destroy all creatures, so it just wipes everyone out. So in terms of the casting cost, Wrath of God was 2 and 2 white, so 4. This is the same, except you got a blue worked in there as well for cannot be countered. Of course, this won't help creatures that are indestructible, or creatures that can regenerate would still be around, or, there's a few ways around it otherwise, but Angel of Serenity for 7. I forget this one. Flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may exile up to 3 other target creatures from the battlefield and or creatures cards from graveyards. And when it leaves the battlefield, return the exiled cards to their owner's hands. Interesting. So you can clear some opposing creatures, or you could get cards back from your graveyard if it dies. This is a mythic, I think. Yeah. But is that enough extra value onto a 5/6 flyer for 7? I don't know. Depends on what you do with it, I guess. Trostani Slenia's voice.
I kind of would like to get those.
Slesnia's voice. You can use it to populate, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain life equal to that creature's toughness. This is pretty good. Definitely, again, comparable to the Rakdos in its way. Another Supreme Verdict. Another Dryad Militant. Drawing the ranks. Another Cyclonic Rift.
Ooh, that one behind it.
The foil
yeah, that
Locksmith
looks
Smiter.
cool.
Yeah, that's cool too.
Is that like a type of elephant or something, or?
Yeah, it's an elephant soldier.
Okay. Just the way the light hits, it's really neat.
It is. They did a good job with some of these foils. The little crest really pops too in the text box for what guild it's from. But yeah, it's funny, all this interesting stuff. I'm really kind of surprised in some ways that a card like Cyclonic Rift has become, I think, the most valuable card from the set. I think it's even past the Shocklands. Like, it's strange. I'm sure they're going to reprint it to death one of these days, but for some reason they haven't yet, apparently.
Modern Masters or something else?
No, this is Return to Ravnica. So they have reprinted it.
Yeah. It's 3723.
Interesting.
Although there's different versions.
Collective Blessing. This is the one.
That version's really cool. Ravnica Remastered.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
They made a serialized version with the classic frame. Interesting.
Holy cow!
Yeah, they like to do serialized stuff now. Anyway, but yeah, like I said, I think this one is going to be useful for when I rebuild my Leeline deck.
Magic set.
I've heard about it, but Final Fantasy is not a franchise that I'm very familiar with. So it's not really sticking out much to me.
I mean, it might not hurt to open a bit, at least for people who watch our channel that want to see what it's like.
Well, maybe if we can get a bit in a timely way, but I'm sure it's going to be heavily sought after and probably not worth the money or effort. Interesting. So yeah, it's kind of mixed, but just.
I mean, it's going to be a popular set. It's just not. He's not interested that much in the series.
Lorwyn. I like Lorwyn art. Some of it.
I mean, we had a lot of fun with the Lord of the Rings.
Avacyn Restored and Innistrad.
The Lord of the Rings crossover, that was fun.
Oops. Plane Chase. I don't know. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with Lord of the Rings.
But I think the Final Fantasy will go over well. I think it's going to be a big hit. Probably.
Yeah, I think there'll definitely be demand for it. You want to try a game?
I guess we could.
You want to try you want the red black Rakdos deck or the white blue green
I don't know.
3-color deck.
I don't know what I want. No idea. You pick for me. You're gonna beat me anyways.
You want something that's simpler and aggressive, or something with more strategy?
Probably simpler and aggressive because I'm not a strategy player.
Fair enough.
Unless I have a partner. I know there's a lot of Final Fantasy fans. Yeah, there are. We have a couple people who watch our stream that are excited about it. I'm trying to remember who it was that was talking about it. Was it Auntie that was talking about it? I'm trying to remember. Or somebody else. Although he doesn't watch us.
This was
just once in a while pops in.
I used to keep 2 pairs of 10 d10s and some other dice handy for counters.
I saw
this was a set of dice I put together for just general play, but I often used to use for my Magic games as well.
Dice when I was organizing.
Here's one of the Deckmasters dice from when I showed off that collection. This came with it.
Was it?
Spin down. I always liked dodecahedrons, the 12-sided dice. It's kind of neat mixture. And in terms of mathematical transforms, I find it interesting. Basically, if you extend each point on a d20 to a flat middle of a face, and vice versa, these two shapes will transform one into another. So the 20-sided dice has 12 points on it, evenly spaced, basically, whereas the 12 faces on this, it's got 20 points.
When you picked this up, did you intend to get that kind of dice?
Yes, because I wanted to have a little different. Ordinarily, I just use 2 d10s like this.
Okay.
And interestingly, here's a d8 and a standard d6, and these will also transform the same way, one into the other, whereas a d8 has 6 points, whereas this has 6 faces and 8 points. So
look at the 2 that I picked out at the shop.
Yeah, tiny dice.
Tiny little dice.
I always found dice fascinating. If you try and do that transform on a d4, it's got 4 faces and 4 points, so it just transforms into itself.
I want to like get a jar, a really cool looking jar, and just get some different neat looking dice and stuff and fill it up. I think it'd be pretty. Yeah, you need the magnifying glass for the little tiny ones. I love them. I want to get more. I think you get them in Temu. That's probably where they bought them, and they just charge you a whole bunch for it.
All right. I'll swap over to the other side of the fence here, and I guess I'll leave you the red-black, and I'll take the other one. You want to move the camera to someplace more useful?
I can do that.
And I'll have to shift the table a little here to fit behind. That seems to be the usual pattern on these days.
Okay.
Ooh, I think I stepped on a cracker.
You very well could have. Now it's time to play.
Yeah.
Let's play.
Let's try out some of these Return to Ravnica cards. I don't remember if I must have tested these decks against each other at some point. Maybe with my brother or maybe someone else, but I know I didn't use them a lot. So basically this is sort of the same thing we did with Dragonstorm, except with these different guilds.
Alright.
Like I said, this one's got Azorius and Selesnya, and mainly.
So,
and that one's got the Rakdos in it.
So if I win, I can buy anything I want on Wednesday.
Unlikely. We don't have the money for that.
Oh, well, then I'll take out all your magic stuff that's in the shopping cart for the trade-in value. No, I'm just kidding. Ooh, ah!
I don't even know what I have in the shopping cart. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it wasn't the Darksteel cards I would need.
They have it's a lot of money. It's like 160 or something like that for the Charizard from Celebrations that we need for Thomas. Oh, that is hard to find.
It's getting there anyway.
I traded my Giratina. No, that would be bad. I don't know if they'd even take it. Well, they probably would, but I would never. I can't trade my Giratina in. I just got it. I love it too much. So pretty.
Ick.
Oh, we're gonna roll for the.
I don't like this hand. I'm gonna keep it anyway.
All right. Roll the tiny dice. Roll the tiny dice. Ooh.
11.
I got 11.
I don't know if you can even see that on the camera.
Can you see the 11? No, I don't think you can. I got 11 though.
5.
Tiny dice for the win. Yes.
Now here's the thing. Would you rather roll 2d6s?
That's the 20?
Or a d12? Yes, that's 20.
I don't know. All right. So you picked it up before PSA 10 Giratina is like 1.3. Yeah, it's yeah.
So you're starting this.
We did pretty good. Yes. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I love the tiny dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right. I don't know what I got, but let's see. Ooh. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, well, since it's the first round, I'm gonna just throw this out there because
there you go.
It enters tapped, and you may as well get that out of the way.
Might as well if you got nothing else to do on the first turn.
Yep.
My turn?
Yes, because, well, obvious.
All right. I'll play a forest and a dryad militant.
Okay.
Your turn.
All right. What do I want? Oh, I guess I untap this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So. Yeah. That's it. Thrill Kill Assassin.
Right. So, you gonna use the unleash or not?
What does the unleash do? You may have this creature enter the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. It can't block as long as it has a +1/+1 counter on it.
Right.
Okay.
So it's either a 1/2 death touch or a 2/3 death touch that can't block.
I think I might like the +1/+1 counter, because at least if you got something big and you're attacking me with it, then or no.
Can't block if it's.
Oh, but if I want to just do damage at you, and then you can't block it if you don't want it to die.
Right.
Yeah.
If it's got the counter, it's better for attacking with, but it can't block. If you just want it to defend with, it's got death touch, so anything it blocks that it can damage, it'll kill.
Okay. I think I want to just put the counters on it, because then I can.
Okay.
At least. What the heck? This is weird.
It's a 1 counter.
Okay. All right. Well, then you may go.
All right.
At least because this way I can slowly kind of, Oh, I could have probably done something else instead, but I don't know which one's better.
I'm not sure.
Oh. Well.
I'll play an island. I'll play Gate Creep Vine. And I can search my library for a basic land card or a gate card, reveal it, and put it into my hand. Then shuffle. So I will use that to go get a gate. I'll get Selena's Guild Gate and put that into my hand.
Ooh, fun stuff. There's so much fun. Oh my goodness, the fun stuff you can do with these cards.
All right, since you can't block with that, I will attack you with my Dryad Militant for 2.
Okay. My turn?
Yes.
All right. Oh. People are yelling outside. Which one do I want? Ooh, I'm dropping stuff. Gonna use this one, I think. Hmm. Oh, what do I want? What does that thing do?
It's a 0-2 wall, basically. Mostly what it did was let me go search for another land.
Okay. I'm trying to decide what I should do. I have two options. All right. Well, I'm going to. I think I. You know what? I'm going to just do this. I'm going to use this. I'm going to do this. Do this artifact.
Okay.
Adds that or that to the mana pool. Or
you can pay to make it a creature until end of turn.
Yes, that's what I'm doing. Where do you usually put this one? Over to the side?
I usually keep it up with my land since I can tap it for mana, and then, you know, if I turn it into a creature, then it's a creature, but...
Since I can't block with this, I may as well attack then.
Might as well.
Alright.
So, I could throw this in front of it to prevent 2 damage. Or not. But I might as well. So I'll just block with my little wall. Done?
Am I still alive?
Yeah, this doesn't do anything.
Woohoo! There we go. I'm probably going to lose because he's awesome at this game, and I just am not. Who else? Okay. I don't know what to ask you guys. I don't know what to ask. Do you have questions for people in chat?
Bring out the Selesnya Guildgate. I don't know. I think they've gone back to Ravnica 3 or 4 different blocks or rounds or times. There was the original Ravnica block. There was this one. And then I know that there's Ravnica Remastered just this past, like a year ago or something. And there might have been another one in between there too. It's been a popular area for some reason. I'll attack you for 2 with this again.
Okay. Where's the there we go. My turn?
Yes, your turn.
Options. All right. Ooh. Well. All right. Oh, I keep forgetting to untap everything. I'm really bad at that. All right. All right. What do I do? I've got what? 4 or 5? Ooh. I guess I could. Okay, so when there's a symbol, it's got like 2 colors in it, and it's double.
Then you can use either one.
Okay. So if I wanted to just tap all these guys, except for this one, I could play 2 creatures.
Okay.
Right? I don't know if that was a good move or not. But now I have other things that could block. I probably could have played something better. But I will attack you.
Okay. I will...
Wait, this has haste. Does that mean it could attack on this turn?
Yes, it does.
Oh, okay. Well, can I attack with him too?
Yeah, I guess so.
Sorry.
I will use a Cyclonic Rift and return this one to your hand. And I'll take 2 from the other.
Boo.
Done?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I forgot that haste meant that you can attack. We have 4 people watching. Hi, everybody. Welcome in if you're in and out or if you're new. I don't know how to play very well. He's knows more than me. There was a while I quit playing against him because he was like, just went for the kill. And I would do the same thing, but that's because I just take joy in defeating him, the expert out of the 2 of us.
All right.
I just do it too soon sometimes.
Attack you for 2, I think.
You think?
Yes.
What tricks do you have up your sleeve? That is a question.
Good question.
I'm gonna just take it for this time because I don't trust you.
Okay.
And that's probably not a good plan.
I will then play a Growing the Ranks, which isn't going to do a lot for me right away, but maybe later.
Excuse me.
Later. Your turn.
Untap everything. All right. What am I getting? Okay. Alrighty. Well, I've got okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, now tap. And tap. And I'm going to play those 2.
Okay. That costs 4 and that costs 2, so you need 6 total.
Oh, well, then fine.
First of all.
I thought, no, because it's 3 and then 3, 4, 5. It's 5. 4, 5, 6. Never mind. I can't do math. And then this one does a counter thing, right?
If you want the counter on it, yes. What's the other one do? At the beginning of each
combat, any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If a player does, tap this
guy,
this one, and put a +1/+1 counter on it.
Okay, so I can sacrifice creatures to make him grow and lock down for the turn. Okay, good to know. All done?
Well, no, I may as well attack you. Well, I can.
I guess.
For these 2.
All right, I'll take 4 down to 14. My turn?
I like this guy. He's huge.
He is huge, which is rather annoying, to be frank.
I should probably put this one up first.
White, blue, and another supreme verdict. Destroy all creatures.
What?
All creatures go bye-bye. Unless they're indestructible or you can regenerate them.
I don't think I can.
Right.
See, this is why I don't like playing you. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Because I'm trying to stop from losing. Anyway.
My turn.
Your turn. I've got nothing to populate, so this is sitting there doing nothing for the ball.
So maybe I'm glad I didn't play this one first. Okay, let's see what we got. All right. 3, 3,
Oh, goody.
Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put that many +1/+1 counters on it.
Yuck.
You may go. I want to win. I don't get to win very often against you.
Alright. I'll play a land. 1, 2, 3, 4. I will play Seek the Horizon. Search your library for up to 3 basic land cards. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. There's a plains. There's a forest. Another forest. And I'll tap this one and bring out another Dryad Militant.
What does that one do again?
Same as before, it's a 2/1 creature, and if an instant or sorcery card would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead.
Okay.
I need to check the timing rules on this. I know that previous one exiled my Cyclonic Rift. I forgot to do that. And
you can't do it now. It's too late.
It's a penalty.
Oh, it's a penalty. Okay.
As for whether the Supreme Verdict would have been exiled, does it resolve and go to the graveyard and then the creatures die? I think the creatures die first, so it wouldn't. So that's still in there.
Okay. Can I go?
I suppose so, sadly.
I don't think you can do anything. So, you said I can. Brandon, what else I got? Ooh. Well, I got choices. Hmm. Okay. I'm just gonna 2. I need 6.
Oh, you're getting all your big ones.
Yep.
Okay.
Chaos Imps has trample as long as it has +1/+1 counters on it.
Right. So you're using the unleash thing?
I can't attack this time with it. Well, it has haste. No, it has trample. What? No, it has trample if I put that on there.
Right. But then it can't block. Pros and cons.
I'm going to leave it because I don't know what you have to stop flyers. And I'm going to attack with this one.
Could be.
And then it also says whenever a creature you control deals damage, it gets a +1/+1 counter. So that counts for this one too, right? If it does damage.
Whenever a creature you control deals damage to a player, you may put that many +1/+1 counters on it.
Ooh, so you could put, like, if I deal 6 damage to you.
I don't have a flying blocker. I used my trick earlier. So yeah, it deals me 6 and gets 6 +1/+1 counters.
I love this. I know you have ways of stopping things.
Not in my hand, so I better draw one. Are you done?
Yeah, I can't do anything else.
Okay, good.
Isn't this amazing? I like it. Please tell me you don't have a way to beat me. Because I really would like to crush you for once.
Bring out another land. This is annoying. None of these have flying. Very irritating.
My turn? No.
I'll bring out Torsten, which could gain me some life to buy me some time if I had other mana available.
My turn.
Which I don't.
My turn.
So all these populate things are doing me nothing because I can't get token creatures.
My turn, right?
And I have to decide whether I want to attack with my Dryad. Your Imp, you didn't put a counter on, so it could block it, and that would just crush it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing that's a no. So yes, it's your turn.
Okay. Woohoo! Oh, the dog is wanting out. What else do we got? Get that.
You essentially had
because I can.
3 big 6-power flying creatures that you dropped 3 turns in a row.
Oh, I only need 4.
I dealt with the first one, and then I
Okay.
didn't have answers for the next 2. So
Get this guy.
okay, and are you unleashing that one?
You have this creature and +1/+1 counter on it. Can't block. Why not? Because why not? It can't block as long as okay. Whatever. Anyways, I'm going to.
All right, 6, and they both fly. I have no flyers. That's 18 damage. That's me dead.
Yay!
So you won that one.
Yay! I beat him. I should get a prize. What kind of prize do I get for? I like this deck.
You complain when I kill your first creature and then bring out 2 more just as bad to crush me with. Like, really?
Yes, I did. Because I didn't know it was gonna go like that. Because usually you have some kind of tricks.
I probably should have saved the Cyclonic Rift for later. That might have bought me a turn. Even now, do I have enough to overload it? Oh, just barely. So I could have done that, but it would buy me a turn against one of them even now. Like just.
Oh.
So. That was my mistake. I should have saved the Cyclonic Rift.
How cool are these guys? You make good decks. What can I say? Check that out. These guys won me the battle, and then this was the one I brought out. You want to go let the dog out? He's whining.
Right.
Just make sure the gates are closed. The kids let the dog out yesterday. The neighbor found the dog. Thankfully.
I had growing ranks and Torstani, but I never got any token creatures to get populate going. In the end, my all-star cards, I mean, the Dryad Militants did some work.
Oh, wait a second.
But the Scream Verdict and the Cyclonic Rift were what I had for defense, and I squandered the Cyclonic Rift on the little guys.
I just made a highlight because if I don't know how far it went back, but if it went back to show that I defeated you, that is enough, and that's going to go up as a video one day.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Oh, yes.
Let's get the...
Oh. Oops. He's crashing. Oh, no.
My foot's tangled the cords. Of course it is.
I set booby traps for Pup Spocat. Ugh. There's a Stitch card. Off to the side. Leave it, dog. Oh, what a game. That was fun. I only have fun when I actually win or almost win. But it's good to expect that he's going to defeat me no matter what. And then if I win, then it's that much better.
Yeah. Honestly, the game is getting so complex in terms of the number of cards with all the different sets that have been releasing for years and years. To keep track of everything, even for sets that I was playing at the time, is getting difficult. So sometimes it's best when a new set comes out or a block, which they don't seem to do blocks anymore, is to just build decks with just cards from that set. And that way, you know, it's a consistent pool that's meant to be played together.
Yeah.
So that's basically what I did with the Tarkir Dragonstorm. And that's what I did with these decks years ago.
Wasn't there another deck?
Like I said, I built these decks probably 10 years ago. So they've just been sitting
Were you
there.
thinking about bringing a couple cards in from Tarkir into an old deck that you made?
There are a couple of cards from Tarkir that I have. Well, we put the Ugins in the Eldrazi deck.
Ugins. Those are cool cards to pull.
Yes. And we put... What else did we do? Well, I've been thinking about a couple of them that might work well in the Dragonstorm deck that I had.
Mm-hmm.
We tried out once before on stream. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely some playable cards around.
I don't know. That was fun. It was fun. Crushing you is fun. Because I don't usually do it that often. I got to defeat you, and I have evidence. Woohoo!
Woohoo.
Thomas has pretty good luck when he plays against you with my help.
Sometimes.
I
mean, it's kind of luck of the draw. It's what you get.
Yeah.
You know. So it depends on the deck too. Like that Eldrazi deck, it can do some very powerful stuff, but it takes time to build up its mana base to be able to cast it. Whereas something like the Leeline deck that I've been thinking of reworking on stream shortly, that's very much you get a strong opening hand. If you do, you can potentially win in the first couple turns. If you don't, the game is basically over. So
there's put it on your face. Haha, there he is.
It would have been better for me to just come back around the table.
Oh, you could. You can adjust things. I can push it down and then swap it.
Could do. We'll put these away first.
Don't you guys love that mat? That's a really nice looking mat.
It is a neat looking mat.
It gets dirty fast though. We have to. Yeah, it's a beautiful mat. Temu has good playing mats. If you guys are looking for a playing mat, I definitely recommend Temu. It is not a paid endorsement whatsoever. They don't give us any money. I did actually a video of a toy review, and I had a couple of people tell me not to support.
Dice.
They're in here maybe. Did I put it in here?
Where'd my D4 go?
I put it in there.
Little triangle one.
Sorry. Anyways, somebody told me not to support Temu, and somebody else said I should be checking toys for lead because it's made in China. But you know what? Everything is made in China, so even if you buy it at a store here, maybe you should check those toys for lead too. Just saying. But anyways, I was actually thinking of ordering like a testing kit from Amazon or whatever, and being like, okay, you want me to test the toys for lead? Here we go.
Could be interesting.
Yeah. Because, yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, that beautiful mat. Isn't that such a nice looking? Which mat do you guys like better?
Someone had mentioned you used to be able to get a little kit.
Which one do you like better?
Where you could build your own lead soldiers.
This one or that one?
They would send you lead in a little melting pot, and you could melt down the lead, pour it into molds, and make your own little toy soldiers out of lead to play with.
It's a tie. All right. Here we go. Flip it over.
Flip it over.
Flip it over. Hi.
Hi.
Just a second. I'm throwing my sweater on because I'm cold.
Right?
It was warm in here.
It was, but things are starting to cool off.
Yeah. We got the kitchen window open too.
Yeah, that definitely helps cool off this time of year.
There we go. Yeah. So, what else do we have to say? Do we have a plan for Thursday, or are we just going to see what we can trade into the shop with trade and stuff?
I don't know. I don't know if we can afford the gas to make a trip to the city this week. We'll see. But I know you want to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I think we can. As long as we're not spending too much extra, aside from trade and value stuff.
Yeah, well, again...
Quick stop at Costco.
See, that's the thing, is I kind of built my collection to where I'm happy with it over the years. So,
okay.
If I'm content with it, then, you know, unless there's something I specifically want for a video...
Bring your list.
I don't necessarily want to be trading in my better stuff just to get a few more cards here and there.
No, well, I didn't say... No, I said if there's anything that you want to part with. Like... I don't know.
You know, usually I've kept, you know, playing sets and stuff like that, so there's not a whole lot of extras in that sense. I guess. But, I don't know. There's a few things that I might be willing to part with, but I need to think it over. So.
Yeah. I've got a lot of bulk to trade in. I've got a bunch of baby shinies that I can trade in.
I probably would have bulk, but
Mm.
it's...
They've got 2 baby shinies I need from Paldean Fates, so...
I don't know how much bulk they take for MTG.
You have to look for the... They don't have bulk like they do for the Pokemon at that store. You have to look through your stuff, and if there's some of the bulk that they want,
yeah,
then you put it in a buy list, so...
Yeah, a lot of stores do buy lists, but that's usually not
They do have the Charizard that Thomas needs, but... Yeah. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
For a Charizard.
Right. We'll have to look it over at some point.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to keep in mind what on earth I'm supposed to do this morning. Not this morning.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, because we've got a busy morning ahead of us.
Oh, yeah, we got to take the camper in.
And it's still not in position to move yet, so that's another whole thing. I'm going to have to fight with the gate, maybe fight with the charger, fight with the slide.
Well,
all that's
I'm not
just
going,
to get it out of the yard.
I'm not taking the kids to badminton now, so...
Yeah, well...
I'll be here to help. So, yeah. I'm probably going to make a list and have it... I'm going to tinker the list.
But you know what? I don't have to get up at 3:20 tomorrow morning. Yay!
Yay!
I can sleep in until 5, maybe, if I'm lucky. Because then the kids are usually up.
Maybe we'll get lucky, and the surprise boxes will be here on Thursday. And we can do that for our stream on Thursday.
Who knows? Maybe, but I doubt it.
Yes. We got, I happened to get lucky and get 2 of the surprise boxes from, for the Prismatic Evolution surprise boxes. From, whatchamacallit, Pokemon Center. So not crazy inflated prices like everywhere else. I can't believe they're charging $99 Canadian for those things.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So if anyone's still here watching that likes Return to Ravnica as a set, I'd be curious to know what your favorite cards are, if you want to leave a comment. The Pain lands are sort of perennial favorites just because lands that are strong are always popular. So maybe excluding those, because that's a little bit too obvious. But there are some interesting ones for sure. Some of those uncounterable cards I know have been popular at times. And a few others, like the Death Ray Shaman and other things too. But who knows?
Have we tried playing the Lord of the Rings? Have we made Lord of the Rings decks yet?
No, I haven't, because my collection for that keeps sort of shifting on me. So, but one of these days I'd like to.
We should try Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I do plan to one day. I just haven't got there yet.
And we haven't tried the Bloomborough one decks you were working on either.
No.
See, you're so lucky that we started this YouTube channel to get me playing against you again, because...
Well, I wouldn't mind playing against Thomas and that, but he's sleeping. So.
Yeah, Thomas kind of loses interest fast in these games.
Abram tried learning once, and...
We have a picture of him when Abram was a baby. he made a deck for Abram, and he was playing on the couch with Abram. And then Abram just kind of looking at him being like, I want to eat those cards. It was really cute.
That was a long time ago.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, that was a long time ago. Oh man, our baby's going to be 18.
Yep.
Our first baby's going to be 18.
They grow.
And our youngest baby's going to be 3 in October.
Yep.
We're old. Definitely starting to feel old.
Time does that.
Oh my goodness. So yeah. I don't know if we're gonna have any pop-ups or anything like that before Thursday. But Thursday is our next scheduled live. If we get mail, we might go earlier.
Who knows?
I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. I do want to... Actually, I wouldn't mind doing a couple more pack openings in the West Edmonton Mall at some point for a couple places that we've missed.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah. Or maybe different neat places around Edmonton.
Maybe.
When we get back there. Ooh, we have the Fort Edmonton Park. That could be fun.
Could be fun.
I don't know. Lots of things. there's a lot of neat places if you guys ever find yourself in Edmonton.
There's another option.
Yeah.
If there's something that would be of interest that I've been considering is for Ice Age, the set when it hits its 30th anniversary of its release date, which will be in June, I believe. I've got a sealed starter deck or two kicking around. So maybe to help celebrate the 30th anniversary of the release of Ice Age, which was the first standalone that the game released after the base set and the first few expansions, we could actually crack one open and see what we get. It's a funny set for card values, but I do like the old art anyway. The flavor back then is a lot different than it is today. Creatures were definitely...
I'm losing promo cards everywhere.
Not as strong back then, but in some ways I think that made the game better.
And just as a reminder that I like to bring up all the time because I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Even on non-Pokemon streams.
Even on non-Pokemon streams. We're going to open this when we get to 4,000 watch hours. So, yeah, we the only reason why I am okay with that is that we pay not anywhere close to what they're selling for now. I would never consider that. I wouldn't even buy it at that price. Although I'm kind of wishing now that we would have gotten a box of the Evolving Skies when it was that price.
Who knows?
Now they're crazy. But
they probably wouldn't get anything in one of those anyway.
No, I wouldn't open it. I would have kept that one sealed.
Really?
Yes. Because that would be like, it would have been like $600 when we first saw it, and we're like, that's a lot of money. And then now I'm looking at the price of everything, and I'm just like,
Yeah, well, prices might come back down over time too. You never know.
Oh, I doubt that one will. But anyways, hopefully we have something fun in here. If it's the the Gengar VMAX, I already have one. We might trade one in or something, or sell one. I don't know. I'm hoping that we might get a couple other cards though. But if we get that one, I would be more than happy to. I would be more than happy to have that one. But we'll see. But so what else do you want to say?
Oh, nothing. I was just thumbing through the box, and I heard they recently unrestricted this card. So good old gifts ungiven. Search your library for 4 cards with different names. Then target opponent chooses 2 of those cards. Put the chosen cards into your graveyard and the rest into your hand. Then shuffle your library. It's interesting to me because at the time this seemed like I don't know, I guess a little bit more focused because you get to pick the cards, but to me just sort of a different version of Fact or Fiction, which was popular when it first came out too. Reveal the top 5 cards, so instead of 4 you're 5, but it's just the top 5 cards, not search for 4 cards of your library. An opponent separates those into 2 piles. A face up pile and a face down pile. Into 2 face up piles. And put the one pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. So with that one, you could get more cards almost guaranteed if you want, because it's not just you get 2 and 2 are gone, but yeah, the cards aren't as cherry picked to begin with, I guess. So, but yeah, I was surprised to hear that they had actually gotten rid of that, but nowadays I guess there's just so many cards out there, so many different combos. They just have to do whatever they can to restrict certain combos. What else do I have here? What is this? Just some more rated or hated sin one of these days.
Yeah.
Some of these.
So yeah. So we have a lot of people that are like tuning in briefly and then kind of popping right back out.
Yeah, I know.
I know we're at the end of our stream,
a little
so
bit boring and winding down, and
but know that I have defeated the master tonight.
yeah, you won. You beat me tonight
with some really awesome looking cards. I crushed him big time, and he will come back and he will defeat me in the future big time.
Well,
but
we'll see.
I will enjoy the fact that I have been victorious, because that doesn't happen very often.
If I had saved the Cyclonic Rift and bounced everything back to your hand, you wouldn't have been too pleased with that.
I would not have been too pleased. I would have been very, very sad. It's like the last time.
Although things going back to your hand aren't as bad as them being destroyed either.
No, that's right. I was able to bring that one back. But then there was the other one that you destroyed my hand. You destroyed everything. Didn't you? I think so.
Yeah.
My brain is done.
Anyway.
So we don't have too many people in chat, so I'm not gonna bother rating anybody tonight.
No. We don't have a lot of magic related people to raid anyway.
No, so. But most of the people that are with us usually are.
Yeah.
They watch us.
Thanks for coming out, and I hope you found some of this interesting anyway. It's a decade-old set. It's interesting to see how, a lot of the creatures have gotten even more power creep since then. And just the way the game's changed. Now big dragons and stuff from Tarkir have alternate modes that you can play, so that you get dual mode spells that way instead of just little is it charm things. It's things have really changed.
I like the simple, straightforward stuff.
Yeah, and that's one of the appeals to me of classic Magic.
We have 0 people watching.
From the first few sets. It was simple. The creatures weren't overcomplicated. You didn't have constant interactions to worry about.
I'm sorry, you keep talking. Oh, we have one back. We have one back.
I like the simplicity of classic, vintage 93 through 90. I don't know. I'd say through 95 for sure, but that's when it was all declining, and then they started to pick it up again a little bit from 96 through to probably, when did Here's a Saga come out?
I don't remember.
Even Tempest, it was starting to go up, but the game was a lot simpler back then, and especially with creatures. And
Ryan's still there. Yay!
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ryan. We appreciate you a lot. And I hope you enjoy these. So, I'll try and find a more interesting topic for next time, or something a little bit more focused. Anyways,
we'll find something fun.
It's a little bit hard to plan these when
he's working. Yeah,
I'm at work. I had a whole spiel to go into about the horror genre and how it's affected Magic the Gathering and how it's changed over the years. But maybe I'll save that for when we actually get into Innistrad itself.
And he probably needs me not to be so disruptive. Just be like, okay, set up the camera and go away.
Who knows?
So he can get his stuff out. Because I disrupt his thought process frequently with the streams.
Sometimes. Then again, it's nice when we can actually get a game in too. So
yeah,
I'm glad when you're around.
All right.
Anyway, have a good night.
I'm gonna yawn.
Bye.
Bye for now, guys. We'll see you soon. Thursday. We'll see you Thursday.
It's Thursday. Come back for our special. I don't know what yet. We'll do something.
I need to get you to do voiceovers for some videos. That's awesome.
Not really.
That was really good. I like it. All right, guys. We'll see you Thursday, 1 p.m. Mountain, 3 Eastern is usually what we do. If things change, I'll let you guys know. So, bye for now. We'll see you Thursday, if not before.
Ta-ta.
We'll see you soon. Have a good night, everybody. Or good morning, depending where you're tuning in from.
Bye.
Bye for now.